how the hell did Master Chief and Noble Six survive falling from space? Yes, they're super soldiers with incredible armor and shielding and abilities, but come on, it's more complicated than that, people. How is that even possible? Well, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how they survived and the subtle secrets in the lore that explain this entirely. It's gonna be a fun one, guys. Let's go ahead and get into it. This video is supported by Audible. Get a free Halo audiobook or choose one of millions of audiobooks with a 30-day free trial. Sign up, link in the description. Let's tackle Noble Six falling from space first. So during the Battle of Reach, in orbit, during Operation Uppercut, Noble team member Jorges would decide to activate the slip space device on the Covenant ship to essentially destroy it, but it would cost him his life, so he entrusted Noble Six with his dog tags and then threw him off the ship, knowing he would survive. How? Well, in Noble Six's case, he actually had a re-entry pack, which is basically meant for this exact thing. It's a single-use jetpack, basically, and it provides a considerably long, sustained, powerful burst instead of how maybe a regular jetpack may work in Halo Reach gameplay. As you remember, it needs to be recharged every few seconds. Now, while there is lacking some lore about exactly how this works, it apparently does the job pretty well. It's never been seen in action, but it was present on Noble Six as Jorges sacrificed himself and throws Noble Six out of the airlock. Now, the common theory is that this re-entry pack creates a large external energy shield to protect the re-entry, much like a shield generator on Jorges' armor. Some also suggest it may actually host a parachute. As in Halo Reach's cutscene, we don't actually quite see Noble Six landing or the re-entry, but the last theory is it works much like a jetpack. I mean, it even looks like a jetpack, so that could be the way that it works. But we see him recovering from the fall and walking up to the actual re-entry pack, which apparently holsters a magnum as well as a camera for whatever reason. Perhaps, the camera's there for recovery and search and rescue purposes, or figure out what the hell happened at the moment of its use, or just figuring out what the hell happened to the Spartan that used it. Although, notice how the Spartan wasn't actually near the pack. He was actually away from it walking towards it, so it's probably not too crazy to speculate that he may have disembarked it, or detached, or maybe even, fell off from the entry pack the last second, and maybe he just walked up to it. Although it's most likely that this was done for storytelling and cinematic reasons. So basically, in a nutshell, Noble Six survived with a jetpack. But now we have the famous example of Master Chief landing and surviving at the beginning of Halo 3, and he did not have a re-entry pack. So how did he do it? By the way, it's not just as simple as his armor's awesome. It's actually a lot more complicated than that, and the stakes are much higher here. As seen in Halo 2, John would escape aboard the Dreadnought, leave High Charity with Cortana behind, and arrive on Earth moments later, and then crash land in the jungles of East Africa. So in Master Chief's case, he didn't actually fall from space. Rather, he jumped off the Dreadnought about 2 or 3 kilometers above ground, or aka about 3 miles above the ground. Though some say it's more like 6 kilometers or 3.5 miles, but if it is only about 3 kilometers, maybe 4 kilometers from the ground, that's only about 1/4 of our actual relevant atmosphere, being around 12 kilometers. Yes, our atmosphere is much taller than that, but that's the most, bottom most relevant part where most planes can fly and whatnot. So it's a lot less than falling from space. To put it another way, Master Chief's fall was only about 1/4 as much as Noble Six's jump was. But Chief didn't have a re-entry pack, so how the world did he not end up in a million chunks with every bone broken in his body? So one of the very first things that we notice about the crash here is that Master Chief's armor is locked up. It looks like it's frozen. And the Marines also say that it's locked up and suggest that the gel layer could have taken most of the impact. Looking back at the fiery blast caused by the Dreadnought, however, we get the idea that it's going at tremendous speeds. Now, just so you know how fast this Spartan is going, alright, he weighs 1,200 pounds just about, and jumping from this height about 2 miles up in the air, he would have hit his terminal velocity by landing in about 15 seconds or so, and that would be about 150 miles per hour and over 100 Gs. That's incredible when you consider that a jet can only pull off about 9 Gs before a pilot passes out, and the Six Flags Titan roller coaster has up to 4.5 Gs. and somehow Master Chief managed to survive 100 Gs. It's amazing that his brain isn't just a slushy, but he did pass out, understandably. Yes, he's a Spartan, yes, he's a soldier, and yes, he's wearing some amazing stuff and armor and augmentations, which we're about to talk about, but I don't care about any of that. If you're a human being going at that speed and at that velocity, it's gonna hurt like hell, even if you're a Spartan. As Master Chief fell at incredible speeds over 150 miles per hour, it's very likely, as we can see evidence in the gameplay, that he crashed into a few trees and then crashed into the dirt and mud that sort of actually cushioned his drastic fall. However, some people think he did just dive off the Dreadnought. As we can see here in the gameplay, there is a very big chunk here showing evidence that he grabbed a small part of the forward Dreadnought and rode it down to protect his suit from the blistering heat. But the Marines mentioned something that's actually a big clue here. They said that the gel may have took most of the impact. So let's look into that now. Well, the gel that they're referring to is actually called hydrostatic gel, and it's a component worn by most Spartan 2's armors. And it's actually a blue semi-liquid layer inside of the armor. However, it does not come in contact with the Spartan's skin or the electronical parts of the suit. It's like a layer within the suit. Dr. Halsey, of course, designed this specific mechanic or function, and it is actually a main component of the Spartan armor itself, and it actually supports the self-regenerating energy shield. But it also has other very important functions, maybe life-saving functions as well, such as conforming to the Spartan's body shape so that they can fit it better, like a good-shaped glove. And it also helps with body temperature, ensuring that in very cold environments like in space, that the Spartan keeps warm, or in a very hot environment, that the Spartan stays cool under all that armor. This gel has the ability to be pressurized at various levels as well, which is basically a fancy way of saying it can cushion hard impacts, like the one that Master Chief and probably Noble 6 took as well. Without this gel, Master Chief would have certainly died or have been greatly injured, and the Marines even say that the gel took most of the impact. The gel also kept Chief cool on re-entry because, his suit probably would have burned him alive during the fall if he didn't have some kind of cooling mechanism, even with a door in his way protecting him. Spartan 2s had augmentations, as with most Spartans, and they had probably the best in my opinion. These bioinjections and surgeries did a lot of things for the Spartans, made them tougher, smarter, and so on, but it also made their bones virtually unbreakable, even under tremendous force. Although there are some examples of their bones breaking regardless, it does come pretty close to being unbreakable. Master Chief also obviously has protection under his amazing Mjolnir armor as well, which has a titanium alloy outer shell, and of course energy shields, a pressure seal, and of course the gel that broke most of Chief's fall. And lastly, of course, Master Chief has luck, which was the whole theme of this opening cutscene, with Cortana describing why she chose him, because of his luck and his ability to survive crazy ass stunts like this one. This may be Spartan 117, but regardless, Master Chief must have felt like shit after this fall. And that leads me to the last part of this video. Why did he jump off again? I actually found it pretty hard researching exactly why he jumped off the Dreadnought. I mean, Johnson even asked why he always jumps, and it's not a bad question. He could have just rode the Dreadnought back to the ground and just found himself somewhere else and, met up with UNSC forces that way. And that would have been much less dangerous than jumping off with a small shield of metal, right? Well, for story reasons, I think it's really cool that he jumped off, but I guess the most likely reason here is that Chief jumped off so he wouldn't be surrounded and overwhelmed by Covey forces that would eventually group up by the portal of Void. So perhaps it was actually safer to jump 2 miles off a speeding ship into the atmosphere than to be overwhelmed by all that Covenant. Before you head out, be sure to snag a free Halo audiobook with Audible's 30-day free trial. Just use the link down in the description to sign up. Super easy and fast sign up. So, guys, do you think we'll see Spartans fall from space maybe again in Halo Infinite? I think it's just so badass that they could survive this. And by the way, did you learn anything in today's video? Let me know and drop this video a like if you ended up enjoying, and subscribe for plenty more Halo lore videos just like this one in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate the support. I'll catch you in the next one soon. Peace.